A lot of traders can mark fair value gaps perfectly and still lose money. So the problem isn't spotting the gap, the problem is not knowing when the gap actually matters. Because a fair value gap by itself is not a trade, it's not magic. It's not this little box on your chart that price has to respect just because you marked it. And I think this is where a lot of ICT traders get stuck. They want to learn what a fair value gap is, they see displacement, they draw the gap, price trades into it and instantly think, okay, this is my entry, but then price blows straight through it, and now they're confused. They start thinking, did I draw it wrong? Was it a real fair value gap? Should I have used the 5 minute instead of a 1 minute? Should I have used consequent encroachment? Should I have used a wick? Should I use the body? And sometimes that's not the real issue. Sometimes the issue is simple. You were trading the gap. You were trading the gap without understanding the story around the fair value gap. So, in this video, I want to break down why your fair value gaps keep failing, what a fair value gap is, what it actually represents, when would I trust one, when would I ignore one, and why a failed fair value gap can actually give you as much information as one that respects. Because once you understand this, you stop treating fair value gaps like entries, and you start treating them like evidence. Now, this is where a lot of traders get in trouble. They see a fair value gap here, 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 and here. And before you know it, their whole chart is covered in boxes. And the problem is, if every fair value gap is important, then none of them are important. Because now you don't actually have a model. You just have a chart full of areas that price might do something. And that is not the same as having a trade idea. Most traders will look at this and ask, which fair value gap should I enter from? But that is a wrong first question. The first question should be, why should price respect any of these areas in the first place? That is the key, because a fair value gap only matters if the context around it supports it. If there is no clear draw, if the higher time frame is unclear, if the market is chopping around, if there is no displacement with purpose, then a fair value gap is just a box. And trading a random box is not professional trading, it is guessing with better terminology. So, from the start of this video, I want you to think like this. A fair value gap is not a reason for a trade. A fair value gap is something that can help you participate in a trade if the trade idea already makes sense. So as you can see here, these inefficiencies in general in here, you can see how we're marking out all of these inefficiencies. But then if we look which ones got closed above or closed below once they were created, you can see how many of them have not supported price in its usual characteristic. And the reason behind this is context, and we'll get to this later in the video. So first, what does a fair value gap actually represent? A fair value gap is an imbalance. It is an area where price moved aggressively in one direction and did not offer clean two-sided delivery through that area. In simple terms, price moved too fast. There was urgency, there was displacement, there was momentum. But this is the part most people miss. A fair value gap is not automatically support. A fair value gap is not automatically resistance. A bullish fair value gap does not mean price has to continue higher. A bearish fair value gap does not mean price has to continue lower. All it really tells you is in that moment, price showed aggressive intent in one direction. That's it. So before I ask, can I enter from this fair value gap? I want to ask, why did this fair value gap form? Was it moving towards liquidity, above highs or beneath old lows? Was it moving away from liquidity? Was it formed after a sweep? Was it formed from a higher time frame context area? Was it formed during a time where price actually tends to deliver? Or was it just a random imbalance in the middle of a messy price action where price is high resistance? Because if you don't know why the gap formed, you probably shouldn't be trading it. Now, mechanically, yes, this is a fair value gap because we have 3 candle formation, 1, 2, 3, where we have a lower candle 1 high, candle 2 pass through it, and then we have a candlestick 3 low. That creates a fair value gap. And the imbalance is created between candle 1 and candle 3. That's the textbook version of it, and that's fine. You do need to understand how to mark it, but knowing how to mark a fair value gap does not mean you know how to trade a fair value gap. That's a massive difference, because a lot of traders learn the 3 candle pattern. They think that's the whole concept. They think if I can spot the gap, I can trade the gap, but that's not enough. You need to understand what created the gap. You need to understand whether the displacement actually matters. You need to understand what price is likely drawing towards, because the fair value gap is not the beginning of the process. It comes later. And if you start your analysis with a fair value gap, you're probably already thinking too long time frame. You're starting with the entry instead of starting with the idea. That's why so many traders get caught. They are trying to build a trade from the entry backwards. They're trying to get the entry model and then look at the higher time frame after. But it should be the other way around. Buyers first, draw second, context third, displacement fourth, then the fair value gap. Now, this is where the fair value gap becomes useful. When we see this type of displacement, I'm not just thinking, oh look, there's a gap. I'm thinking, what did price tell me? Did price show willingness to move higher? Did price reject lower prices? Did price start shifting aggressively away from a level? Did price leave behind an area that we genuinely are, that if we are genuinely bullish, should support price? Because if the market is truly bullish from that area, then this displacement should mean something. But if price trades back into this area and completely disrespects it, that also means something. And this is where most traders only understand half the concept. They understand what happens if a fair value gap holds, but they don't know what to do if it fails. They just say, my fair value gap fails, and then they get annoyed. But the better question is, what does the failure tell me? Because a failed fair value gap is not useless. A failed fair value gap is information. So this is where a fair value gap has been respected. This is where a fair value gap has been disrespected. And honestly, this is one of the biggest things that changed the way I view price, because a lot of traders only care about the level if it respects. If price trades into a bullish fair value gap and reacts higher, they say it worked. But if price trades through a bullish fair value gap, price trades into a bullish fair value gap and instantly blows straight through it, they say that failed, they move on. But that failure is information. If a bullish fair value gap should support price and price trades straight through it, like here, that tells you buyers are definitely not defending that area. It tells you that the discount arrays is not being respected. It tells you price may want to trade lower, possibly into the next discount array towards sell side liquidity. For example, this red line in here where context is bearish, we have seen displacement lower. Because we create one bullish fair value gap higher retracing into this range does not automatically mean we're going to get a reversal. And then you can see us trade through them and use them as inversions in here. So we close under this lower one, use that as an inversion, and trade into sell side. So instead of thinking, why didn't my fair value gap work, ask, what is price telling me now that this fair value gap failed? That is the better question, because a bullish fair value gap should support price, and it doesn't. It can be a bearish information. And if a bearish fair value gap should reject price lower and it doesn't, that can be bullish information. So respect gives you information, but disrespect also gives you a lot of information, and that's where inversions have come into play. That's why you can't be emotional attached to a fair value gap on your chart. You have to let price tell you whether the area matters or not. So if we use high time frame context to gauge an idea of what fair value gap is useful, what one should see respect like this, and what one should we are likely to see disrespected and closed under and continue delivering towards discount levels, that's where context comes in. And this is the most significant thing you need to do every single day, from top down to your entry time frame. So let's do it together. Here you can see the weekly chart on Nasdaq. This is a recent weekly chart. You can see how this candle, this weekly candle, dropped down into this bullish fair value gap between this opening price and this candle's low. The reason I'm using this closing price, in here, is because when there's a volume imbalance on any side of the range of a fair value gap, you need to include that. Okay, that's something ICT has recently taught. So in here, we left all-time highs here. We then traded down into this weekly bullish fair value gap. And you can see in here, we traded down into it and then traded back into all-time highs. So this is what it looks like on an hourly chart. We traded into that sell side low, which is the daily fair value gap high. Weekly fair value gap high, and we have the all-time high buy side here. You can see us wick down into this bullish fair value gap, staying in the upper portion of it. That shows strength. We then see displacement away with an inefficiency. So what defines displacement? When we take a swing low, for example here, with higher time frame confirmation. So we take this candle low, which is the weekly fair value gap, and then we trade away and clear a short-term high in here. You can see how we clear a short-term high. That is the 2022 model, where we have a swing low taken, we clear a short-term high, a fair value gap gets created, and that can be your entry, right? When we see this displacement with context, that fair value gap will matter, because a higher time frame is supporting the idea of higher prices. We're not just marking out that a bullish fair value gap forms after taking a low. We have higher time frame context that we're trading into a weekly fair value gap. Time and price now aligns, and we're going to start rallying towards premium targets above highs, inefficiencies, and all-time highs. So you can see in this price leg all of these fair value gaps, and you might be asking, okay, here we traded higher away from this fair value gap, created this bullish fair value gap here, traded down into it and expand higher. But in here, price started overlapping inefficiencies. We saw candle closing under it, and people might then say, okay, we are bearish. If we're closing under bullish inefficiencies, we are bearish. But that's where people fail to get a higher time frame context behind it. So you can see all of these inefficiencies that have failed in here. They've got closed under, and then yet price is still supported higher. ICT calls this reclaim bullish fair value gaps once we get back above them. So if we scale up onto a higher time frame chart to get context, you can see how all we were doing in that range, where them hourly inefficiencies were being violated, we're trading down into this 4-hour fair value gap. We're trading into a higher time frame inefficiency, and you can see the unwillingness for bodies to close within that range, where wicks are doing the damage and bodies are telling the story. If you know my model, you can see every single down close candle is supporting price higher once we close above it. That is bullish order flow. So first, you need a bias. You need, where is the market likely to go towards? You need a draw. What high, what inefficiency is price likely to gravitate to? And that will be your take profit. You need context. So going from a weekly chart all the way down to an hourly chart, or lower to your entry time frame, you need context. That's the main thing that makes people have winning trades versus losing trades. And then you need displacement. Displacement away from the higher time frame key level to indicate that smart money are now seeking higher prices, that there's been a change in the state of current delivery. And that is what creates a fair value gap to be high probability. And you're not just marking them out for the sake of marking out a fair value gap because you've seen the pattern. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. Goodbye.